And actually, that was the time that now I started experiencing the whole body was I would be sick throughout. I went mental. That is the time that I started now moving naked, sleeping in the forests, in the bushes. So I found that actually right from, other than living the normal way of life, I moved a little out of home. I started staying in solitary places because I was not, whether it's raining or it is really hot during the day, I would not bother about whether it was raining or it wasn't raining. My life, I wasn't feeling anything. My life was now a little different. But I would not really understand, and I would also even go to some of those primary schools around there, and I would disorganize the teachers when they were teaching. And I really turned out to be somebody who was really mental, and people started getting concerned. Vividly, I would still understand that, yes, I am okay, but I was, I was realizing that something was getting into my life, and I was really saying that, but what can happen? Now, the parents tried as much as they could to take me for medical treatment, but I wasn't responding. So one time, all of a sudden, I become now fully possessed, and to their surprise as family members, they now started listening vividly to what some of the things that the evil spirits were speaking. And to me, I believe that was the real first point, the time that the initiation process was really beginning. So I really want to dwell a little bit on how was I initiated into witchcraft. The family where I was coming from was a lineage. I had an attachment of appeasing the devil, and actually I was now dedicated, and the dedication was essentially done. It was not like maybe through rituals or through any other means, but it was essentially done because out of this position, the devil was speaking, and through my voice, I was like being used as a vessel, and they make these pronouncements that I'm no longer part of the family where I'm born. I'm now in their camp, and therefore I have to submit, and I will be used by them now. So that is the beginning of the journey. So then my initiation into witchcraft was demonically done. So it was a demonic transfer from the four grandfathers passed on to me. And in one of the preliminary processes, the devil imposed on me a lifelong persistent illness, the appendicitis condition I had talked about, because even at that time I was really experiencing it. How did I know reports that were that were being given medically? And finally, it had now come to that high level, so deep that now even the parents now were now getting concerned. At a certain time, the parents had to engage a witch doctor called the Chaibiri Kalema. He was coming from Busoga in a place called Namayemba. Namayemba today, I do believe that should be in Bugiri district, because it's one of the neighboring places to Bugiri. I'm not sure now, because where we are in Uganda, every other time you find that a district is coming up, a new one. But then it was in Bugiri district. And this was this is now like many years ago. That was around 82, 83. So I think now it should be in another, either Namayingo or as a district, but I believe it's a town council. I think it should be either a municipal, it should be a town council. So that is where this man was coming from. And the parents went to consult, and now he comes home and he does everything, because at that time the evil spirits were saying there were 37 that were around me. So and they were demanding for a sacrifice, demanding for bulls, demanding for goats, demanding for sheep, for hens. That if a bull or these animals are slaughtered, then they would get out of me, give me time a bit to relax, so they can begin working from within me. But when they're already sure that a sacrifice has been done. So they demanded for 8 shrines to be constructed, which actually was done. And a number of bulls, like 4 bulls, were slaughtered, because all in all the process moved out with.
Who did construct the shrines? Is it your parents?
No, it was this guy.
He came.
But the animals were being picked from home. The whole process went away with 11 cows, 11 bulls, and with about 8 goats and many uncountable hens, uncountable sheep. But the tangible number of bulls were 11. So actually letting our family even becoming, causing our financial status as a family to really to drop from where it was. So it really affected the family. And as I already said, that there were 11 so children, our brothers and sisters were going to school, and most of them really faced it rough that year. That was around 82, 83. So the infliction, as I said, developed into, as I had said, appendicitis and heart palpitation. So when this man now comes, after all that sacrifice was made, I now settle. But now settling to do what? To begin the issues of witchcraft. And it will now even became even more terrible, because I would find myself sleeping like for 21 hours, almost on a daily basis. Although a day may not like come up with 21, because 21 days is not a day. There are 12 hours in a day. But I would begin like today in the evening at 5 p.m. and then I would cross over up to like almost 6. Almost, yeah, because if like you counted it was,
that means you cross the night.
You cross the night.
The whole day you're sleeping.
The whole day,
and then another night.
So like 21 hours just sleeping soundly. And when I would wake up, you rest like just for 2 hours. You like get something to eat, and then you're already like, because I would be outweighed by the level. There was a lot of heaviness of this sleep. So that was the time actually when that was the initiation still going on. It was not like something just 1 day off. No, the process was tedious, was long, and it took many years. So it was continuing like that, and the people were wondering. But I was like, as I already said, I would isolate myself. I would go to my hut, sleep, and in the nights I would not be there. I would not be there.
So the essence of that sleeping simply means that the body will be here, but spiritually,
I'm somewhere. Because it was like 2 in 1. There are moments when the body would be transported fully with the way we are. Then at some times the spirit would go away, and then the body remains behind. So that means that when you're here, you find that the spirit is somewhere else, doing other businesses there, as we shall be talking, as we shall be going through in our sharing. So I'd say that the spirit, the evil spirit said in one of those issuances as they were speaking, the grandfather, the one of the grandfathers that was operating, that was doing what I was now doing then, was called the Akenya. Akenya had the 2 wives, and the 2 wives were childless. One of them was called the Nyapem, and the other one was called Bola. Yeah, I was saying, I had one of the grandfathers who was a devil worshipper, and was called Akenya. So the whole thing was ancestrally done, demonically transferred from Akenya. Now passed on to me. He had 2 wives. He had Ebola and then Nyapem. And both wives were childless. So Bola was responsible. Now in a demonic way, she was responsible for causing road accidents. So the spirit actually, that was one of the evil spirits that I was using. by name Bola, a wife to a Kenya, was responsible for causing road accidents. And that is why, you know, even today there are many black spots, accident spots all over the country, Africa and the world over. So in Azimia at that time, I had 37 spirits, evil spirits, and one of them was called Bola, and that was her role. Another one was Nyapem. Nyapem was one of the fastest, and in transporting me, she was one of the fastest transporters. Whenever I would have a sky flight, so she was really very responsible for taking me to wherever I was going, more especially facilitating my movements to Mombasa and the ocean and back. So that was sorry the responsibility for that evil spirit called Nyapem, because many times I would be transported just in the twinkle of an eye. I'm already under the ocean in Mombasa. And at this point, as I said, things now had gone all that far. And but I remember when I was at school, even before I started this, one of the things was in class, whenever teachers would give us notes, and I was revising, my notes would turn into blood. And actually that is one of the things that really challenged me, and knew that maybe something had gone amiss in my life, because it's so rare and it's very unique. I said no. So, but I realized later that was one of the initiation processes. And now finally, after getting to that level, I started, as I already said, started spending my nights in the bushes, in the forests, sleeping on trees. I would also get out. At that time we had banana plantations at home with other crops in the gardens. So I would just move out in the night and weed, and I would work even on like an acre. Only one person, me alone, I would dig. I would weed the plantains, the banana plantains. I would also weed other crops like cassava. So I was really doing a lot, not because I had the power, but this was the power that the evil spirits were giving me. And now automatically my diet also changed. I started eating my stool. I started eating soil, and drinking my urine, and I was not like eating the normal food, the normal diet at home. And I kept on living a solitary life. Whenever I would do these things, I would not do it when people were viewing. So I would do it where I am alone, in the bush there. So even the family members would not know. Actually, it took them time to know that this is what was happening, because it was not really done publicly.
Mr. Frank, I just want to know something a bit there. It was the forces that were causing you to eat your own stool, drink urine, and eat soil and all that. What would happen, like, if you want to eat really food?
A voice was troubling me from within my heart. You would hear a voice communicating that you're not supposed to eat another food.
Now, apart from that, how do you, what is meeting my understanding is a stool comes after eating food. Then,
yeah, but because now I was like, the sacrifices that were being given, and in through this possession you would get blood, because not only stool, not only the urine, but also blood. So I was like taking lots of blood, lots of urine, and then lots of stool. After, like, you've taken blood, there's some stool that come out. But I also would move around and get stool anywhere. Good stool anymore, and eat lots of it. Not only my urine, wherever there was urine, you would go to those places. So you would go to toilets and latrines and scoop and just eat. So it was not something just that was coming from me alone. But now, depending on the voice that was speaking to me, that it was coming with an inner force that you should not eat foods that other people eat. This is what you're going to eat.
So people out there, you just have heard this. What we're saying here is, it is not good to serve the enemy. You go through this and you think that is enjoyment. There's no peace. Sincerely here, you are being turned upside down the rest of your life, the life you've been living normal, changes to this type of lifestyle. It is not easy. It's not a good thing to serve. For those of you who think serving God is bad, listen to this and compare. Thank you. Continue.
Yeah, but Joel, I'm really grateful. The Bible says that he who is inside us is much more greater than the one who is around around us. With the favor of God, I'm still here.
Yeah.
The Bible says in the book of Psalm 118:17 that I will not die but live to testify of the goodness of God. Amen. So that is the reason as to why we are here, and I really want the people that are witch doctors outside there in Arua.
Amen.
I really want to challenge each one of them that
World
wherever in Arua, in the surrounding, in the greater, I think this place is Greater Arua, where Greater Western Nile, people in Congo, in Sudan, Africa, and the world over to listen, because this story is really amazing, and the people don't have the guts actually to come out and share with the people. And this is now sharing the goodness of God, testifying of the goodness of God, and this is what actually I'm doing. So I want to welcome again all the stakeholders as the viewers outside there. I'm now getting on to my real experience with the devil. Now initiation was done, but now I want really to get to another level and share with us the real experience. And how did it begin? By change of name. I was called Yokongo Frank. Now through possession by the evil spirits, it changed my name to Kwaripecho. Kwaripecho, in our traditional language in Tororo, it means great grandfather. And this was done through satanic possession. The devil identified for me, even then when I was still a younger boy, identified for me a girl that I would get married to. Incidentally, at the end of it all, when I got married to this girl, because it was saying in a voice that when that time comes for me to marry, and that girl is at home as a wife, she will now take up the name Adapecho, meaning great-great-grandmother. And that would mean a covenant. People that are married as a couple, and you're doing the same thing. And that is actually what happened after many years. And two, when she came, and finally when she came, actually, she now takes up this name. So we started now a journey together with her. Thank God that we just moved like 4 or 5 years and we gave our lives to Christ.
Okay, was she also from a family background like yours?
Yeah, she was also in a family of idol worshipping. The devil is a schemer. It schemes, it plans. So it destroys, but also identifies what take place. So even for my marriage, the evil spirits identified a family that would be an idol worship, a family that is an idol that does idol worshiping, and appeasing the devil. And here in my family, it was the same thing. So now she comes and we begin this journey together, serving the devil. So at that time we started serving the devil, but we were serving two masters at the same time. We were serving the devil and serving God. So we were like doing two things, serving two masters actually is not easy.
Yeah.
But I want to thank God that today we are serving the true master, and that is God. So I had the powers then. After that process had been done, I had the powers given by the evil spirits to change people's eyesight, making them see false images. As I will be sharing when we get to the area of having those sky flights, whenever I would pass over people's houses. But that one will come later. But that was one of the powers that the devil had given me to make people like a person comes complaining that I'm like, there are many people manifesting in my whatever, like I am moving, I see many people. And it even happens even now. I believe it happens in many people's lives. Not all the people that are there, I have that good sight. Sometimes they see like mates and like it causes accidents. I mean, like you're driving, you're walking, you're riding a motorcycle, you find that all of a sudden, like you're seeing a car, but it's not a car. You're seeing you're crashing, and actually at the same time, as you see, you find that you're already even crashing. Actually, which actually will not be true. But because it's a plan by the devil that has the devil has schemed, you find that you end up having an accident. So the devil also empowered me to walk on waters without sinking or falling, or even drowning at that time. That is one of the experiences. So I had the ability to miraculously be transported anywhere I wanted to go. And I would visit, most of the times, Mombasa. For example, I would close my eyes and say, I want to be in Mombasa. Then in a twinkle, just over an eye, you find that I'm already there. And used to have many nightmares. I used to have nightmares coupled with the sky flights to different places, different forests, and I also had the powers that I would move acrobatically. Acrobatically meaning you walk head upside down, and that was actually what really challenged me so much. But you would not control it. Find that it comes automatically, and find that you're upside down walking. It's like having an exercise. Reason being,
and it would feel normal.
Reason being, feel normal. Reason being to make you really feel that this is what you are. Somebody has gone through the initiation process, and you're now mandated to do witchcraft. But then one thing is that I was quite submissive to the devil, and I used to serve the devil with all my might. And as I said, I also had a unique dietary situation, feeding on blood and stool and drinking urine. But also I used to cheat people that would come to consult. Now that I was doing this, people would come to consult. And that is where I would now get the opportunity to get lots of money through pretense, through tricks, and through dubious ways. But at the end of it all, this money and all the wealth that I really collected today, I don't even have a single thing that remained. Everything that came, though it was too much, just went like the way it came.
I love that. Viewers, I just want us to say something deeper about that. You know, when you see how deception is the really heart of the devil. That's the reason why maybe in the book of John chapter 8 verse 44, Jesus talked about something there. I think it would be good for us to read that, and we get who the devil really is. A deceiver. A deceiver. Now you look at this, every other person, people like rushing every small thing to the witch doctors, and the witch doctors, you see, it just came from his mouth that he would cheat people. we all heard that, cheating people. That simply means they can decide to speak a lie to you, and you believe it, and then you always you give a lot out. You've gotten it. Yeah, first read it, then we move on.
John chapter 8, verse 44.
Yeah.
It says, you are of your father, the devil, and the desires of your father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him.
There is no truth in him.
When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own sources.
Yeah.
For he is a liar and the father of it. But because I tell the truth...
That's you can just stop there. You see, we are talking about the devil being a liar, and it is not any one of us who is speaking this. This was Jesus, who knew him very well from the beginning. And it is coming out from our brother, how they used to deceive. I think about that, you immediately after, actually to connect from here, I remember you talking about something like that. They would cause, like, as a team, like the demons out there would cause problems on people. Then after causing them, they are directed to come to him. And then before you come before you enter inside, he already knows who is there, because he's been reported in the night. So and so is going to be the one coming number one, and the problems are this. So he speaks that earlier.
Yeah, this is actually what was happening. Because most of the times, as I would have the sky flights, being able to be transported. And I already mentioned that Nyapem was really responsible for was the transport, the fastest of amongst the 37 aerospace that I had around me. So whenever I would be taken out for a sky flight. Now clients now would later come from wherever they were coming, because it was not a mandatory that from just within, but even from, you'll find people coming from Kenya, people coming from Tanzania, people coming from all over the country. So whenever they would come, by the time the person is there, you already know, because communications are done, you already know that this is so and so, and this is actually why this person is coming. So that was why people were coming, and through deceitful ways, through dubious ways, I would obtain monies from them. The Bible says in John 10:10, and the devil comes to steal,
Kill and destroy.
and then Christ comes to give life, and life in his fullness. So actually, this is what was happening. The devil is a schemer, is a liar, and through those dubious ways, people lost their wealth, people lost their land, people lost their vehicles, their houses, people sold and sold and sold. And I would really, at certain time, you find that at that time, I would have millions, and to 30 million, to 100 million, and even more. I was just having, and you would not really actually spend this money. So that was what was happening briefly at that time about some of the clients that were coming, as I already inflected by, those things, and they would now respond, and they would like take them through, give them some herbs, and they go and, but not really fully coming out of it, because you wanted to really have them around. It's like having you have food, and you have children around you, and you don't want to give them to the full, because you know that they will be coming again. So when they would now be given something that would help them, you just give them like a quarter dose, so that they come after, they come and they come and they come again. So that all the time they're just swinging and coming around, bringing more monies, bringing more wealth, selling whatever they are selling there, and just coming with monies.
I remember, actually, I think the manager of Stanbic Bank that time, I believe, who spoke something when we went to the bank and said he's not believing that this is that same Frank, because his account was used to be the fattest there. But as he said, if you go up to his home, okay, leave apart where he's living now, but the really village, I went up to that home. You just find these small grass-thatched houses, but you wonder all the money he was having. You see how the devil, he does things. At the end of it all, the money, he said it was not his. It was not his. And I think this brings us to that area before you might to forget, like the sacrifices that used to be done at home, like people coming to dance and drink and all that. So that was the use of the money.
Because that is how actually money will just be spent. And in a way that people are much more attracted. And every other time there's a sacrifice, every now and then you find that these sacrifices were there, drinking, eating lots of food, so that people are kept around, as in the camp of the devil, but they are not aware, because they come because food is there, something to drink is there, and they are kept and maintained there, so that the whole the camp is never dry. So, and people would appreciate and say, so as they do it, they are also initiated. That's how they would also be covenanted. So you'll find that you're not alone in a village or in a community. You find that many families are already affected because they eat food that sacrifice to idols, and like you've eaten, you have taken something to drink, you're already now You have already now signed an agreement, and you're already like been covenanted now. So there is no way now you say you're free. You find that like most people have already been in the camp, and that's how it used to work.